Hi everyone, this is Dan, and this is the Sprint 7 review for Gravia. This sprint was basically entirely spent working on adding or implementing a robot AI that will chase after the player, attack the player, and basically be an enemy that the player has to overcome in the game. And so far this has been a lot more work than I originally expected, just a lot of little details that had to be implemented. And at this point I say it's only partially complete, but I'll show you what we have so far. The robot itself, the model, I built in Blender and painted it. So looking at it right now, it just has this kind of a shiny armor, and the rest of it is made of metal. And right now he's just going through kind of an idle animation where he looks around. And I currently don't have him wired up to actually do anything, just so I can show what he looks like, but his basic structure is this. And some of the animations he can do are he'll jump occasionally, so I can make him jump. Just cause him to leap in the air and land. And he has 3 different punching attacks of different strengths. So the first one is just a basic right hand, second one is a quick left hand, which stuns the player briefly, and the third is kind of a big charged wind up, which is like his finishing move. So while he's attacking, he'll go through a 3-hit combo if the player is still in range, where the last hit will almost certainly kill the player. So that's the basic idea of what the robot looks like. And his face is a screen that will reflect his current mood or what he's actually doing, whether he's pursuing the player or attacking the player. So I will switch him on in a sense. Right now he's set to not look for the player and not find the player, but if I turn on his AI, that'll cause him to now start trying to track down the player. So the way that he works is he'll search for the player, and if he spots the player, he will start running after the player, and if he gets within combat range, he'll start attacking. So we'll just see what that looks like now that he's turned on all his AI. So you can see his face is red, and he's in attack mode, and that glowing fist means he's about to use his kind of super move. So just looking at that again. So that fist is supposed to kind of look like he's charged it up with some kind of electricity, which makes it extra strong. So ideally the player will not be around when he gets hit by that, so if I was trying to get away from here, I can try to use black holes to get rid of him. And depending on where he is and where the black hole is, he responds pretty much just the same way that the player does in terms of the forces. And I can try to run away from him, but he is smart enough to follow and jump around and get himself out of holes and jump across gaps and that sort of thing. Now he switches into his attack mode. So try to get away from him. And he can fall into some pretty deep holes, but he can still get out of it because he has pretty good strength. So there he is jumping across that. But if I try to use a black hole to maybe get him to land in that hole over there, well, that's a little not quite what I wanted. Well, anyway, we should probably just start him off in that hole. So if I stick him in this hole over here to start off, then we'll see that he can actually jump out of that pretty easily. He uses a variable jump height depending on how much he needs to jump to get out of something. So that's a whole kind of trajectory analysis that he's performing for any given jump that he's doing. And right now he doesn't know how to go through doors, or I've walked through this door and I've closed it. So now he knows that he can get through this door to the right or to the left of me because he knows that that's open, so that's why he's heading over there. You can see a green line is temporarily showing what the path is, but with me all enclosed here, he can't get in. so he doesn't really know what to do, so he just tries to go to the closest point that he can to me.
Engage.
But if I step over here to open up the door a little bit, he detects that the door is open, and now he can come over here and try to get in.
Engage.
So he'll basically never stop chasing me at this point. But if I get in here before he does, the door shut on him and blew him up. So he does have, he does explode if he's hit too hard, and we can see that a little more easily by putting him here and letting him drop to the floor from a tall height, and also just kind of making his detonation make him die a little faster when he, or die with less forces. So if I just look at this and run the scene, we'll see him kind of crash to the floor and explode when he hits it. And he just kind of breaks into all of his little different pieces, and we'll just see what that looks like with the player actually watching it happen. And then all these pieces are just kind of left behind and kind of sit around here. And they'll eventually go away as well. And there's his head, and he's kind of printing some error text after he dies. Okay, so we'll make him a little bit more durable again, because we don't want him blowing up every time he hits the ground. But if he hits the ground pretty hard, he will explode, which is kind of the point. Yeah, so that's about it. There's still a lot of work left. This is a little bit sloppy, the way that some of his systems work right now. The display on the screen is just kind of proof of concept stuff, and his animations need a little bit of cleanup. But this is version 1 of the robot AI that will be attacking the player in the prototype. And yeah. Okay, we'll see you after Sprint 8. Thanks.